who lived down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot. But the Grinch who lived just north of Whoville did not. The Grinch hated Christmas, the whole Christmas season. Now please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be his head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps that his shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small. But whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood there on Christmas Eve, hating the Whos, staring down from his cave with a sour, Grinchy frown at the warm lighted windows below in their town. For he knew every Who down in Whoville beneath was busy now hanging a mistletoe wreath. "And they're hanging their stockings," he snarled with a sneer. "Tomorrow is Christmas, it's practically here." Then he growled, with his Grinch fingers nervously drumming, "I must find a way to stop Christmas from coming." For tomorrow, he knew, all the Who girls and Who boys would wake bright and early and rush for their toys. And then, oh, the noise! The noise, 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 noise! That's one thing he hated. The noise, 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 noise! Then the Whos, young and old, would sit down to a feast, and they'd feast, and they'd feast! And they'd feast, 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 feast! They would feast on Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which was something the Grinch couldn't stand in the least.
Yes, roast beast. That's good roast beast. Ouch! Someone help me! Brr.
And then they'd do something he liked least of all. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, would stand close together, with Christmas bells ringing. They'd stand hand in hand, and the Whos would start singing. Fa Who forays, fa Who forays, da Who dorays, da Who dorays, yes. Fa Who forays, fa Who forays, da Who dorays, da Who dorays. Welcome Christmas, Christmas Day, Christmas Day. Welcome Christmas, fa Who ramos. Welcome Christmas, da do ramos. Welcome Christmas while we stand heart to heart and hand in hand. Fa Who forays, da do dorays. Welcome Christmas, Christmas, Christmas Day. And they'd sing, and they'd sing, and they'd sing, 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 sing. And the more the Grinch thought of this Who Christmas sing, the more the Grinch thought, "I must stop this whole thing. Why, for 53 years I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how?" Then he got an idea, an awful idea. The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea. "I know just what to do," the Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a Santa Claus hat and coat, and he chuckled and he clucked. "What a great Grinchy trick!
With this coat and this hat, I look just like Saint Nick. All I need is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there was none to be found. Did that stop the old Grinch?
No,
The Grinch simply said.
if I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead.
So he called his dog Max.
Max, get over here.
Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on top of his head. Then he loaded some bags and some old empty sacks on a ramshackle sleigh, and he hitched up old Max. Then the Grinch said,
Giddy up.
and the sleigh started down toward the homes where the Whos lay a snooze in their town. All their windows were dark. Quiet snow filled the air. All the Whos were dreaming sweet dreams without care when he came to the first little house on the square.
This is step number 1.
The old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist. Then he slid down the chimney, a rather tight pinch.
Are you calling me fat, Miss Narrator?
But if Santa could do it, so could the Grinch.
Right, I can. Now where's my hat? That's better.
He got stuck only once, for a moment or two. Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue.
You're a little behind, narrator, but I'll allow it. Oh, come on.
Now, given the choice between the two of you, I take between the two of you, I
hash.
Now, given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the lonely one, Mr. Grinch. As charming as you, Mr. Grinch. Facing my
Max.
Now, given the choice between the two of you, I'd take the
And now
grinned the Grinch, with glee,
I will stuff up the tree.
and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove. Ah! He turned around fast, and he saw a small Who, little Cindy Lou Who was no more than 2. The Grinch had been caught by this tiny tot. Who, daughter, who'd gotten out of bed for a cup of cold water. She stared at the Grinch and said, Santa Claus, why? Why are you taking our Christmas tree? Why? But you know, that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought it up quick.
Why, my sweet little tot,
The fake Santa Claus lied.
there's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there, and then I'll bring it back here.
And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head, and he got her a drink, and he sent her off to bed. Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find you? Why did you go away? And when Cindy Lou Who went to bed with her cup, he went up to the chimbley and stuffed the tree up. Then the last thing he took was the log from their fire. Then he went up the chimney, the old liar. On their walls he left nothing but hooks and some wire. And the one speck of food he left in the house, was that a crumb that was even too small for a mouse? It was 1/4 dawn, all the Who's still abed, all the Who's still a snooze, when he packed up his sled. Packed it up with their presents, their ribbons, their wrappings, their tags, and the tinsel, and the trimmings, and the trappings. 3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet, he rode with his load to the tip-top to dump it.
Pow, pow to the hoes,
He was Grinchishly humming.
they're finding out now that no Christmas is coming. They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do. Their mouths will hang open for a minute or two. Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry boo-hoo. That's a noise I simply must hear,
Grinned the Grinch. So he paused, and the Grinch put his hand to his ear. And he did hear a sound rising over the snow. It started in low, and then it started to grow. But the sound wasn't sad. Why, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very. He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise. Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all. Fa-hoo, four-ways, da-do, da statutories. Welcome, welcome, Christmas Day, Christmas Day. He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or the other, it came just the same. And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled 3 hours till his puzzler was sore. Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas,
He thought.
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
And what happened then? Well, in Whoville they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight, he whizzed with his load through the bright morning light. And he brought back the toys and the food for the feast, and he himself carved the roast beast.
Here you go, Max. Here's your roast beast. You've earned it.
Hey guys, it's Blue here. Thank you for watching my Christmas special and making it to the end of the video. Before I do my outro, I just wanted to say that I don't own any of the words or music that were used in this video. All rights go to their rightful owners. I just wanted to get that out of the way and say that. But anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Blue's kind of happy with how this video turned out, because usually we do unboxing videos or just simple things, except she puts a lot of thoughts into the skit, but this is like the first like short film kind of thing, if that makes sense. And she's really happy with it, and she hopes I can't talk right now, I'm sorry guys. And she hopes that you guys are happy with it too, and like it, and like her own spin on how the Grinch stole Christmas. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If we could get this video to 10 likes, that would be awesome. And please click the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. And if you ever find yourself bored and want something to do, check out some of our playlists and have an LPS Blue Cat Productions marathon. Alright guys, I love you Blue Stars, and see ya! The end.